Hello there, folks. Good evening to you. We're actually on time, folks. Can you believe that's a turn up for the books, to say the least. So, what do we have for your entertainment and informative delights this evening? Well, that depends on how you view delights. Rated would be to hear. I am proud to say that Paul Feig has retired from everything. We will never ever hear a word of him again. And I don't know, people that needed L's have been served L's, and I am happy, and me and Tatiana are gonna go make out. Come here, baby. But nah, we got, I think, a reasonably good show for this evening, and well, Morbius came back to the theaters.
Lord, I blame you, Twitter. I blame you so much.
I have this to say.
Wow, wow.
But Raiden, it's Morbin time.
No! Do not take that away from Power Rangers.
Yes, let's have its only time instead.
Actually, I would take that.
Following a social media campaign, Sony's motion picture of Morbius is being re-released despite an underwhelming run at its initial release. That's an understatement. It's been added to 1,000+ theaters. This is just 2 months after being released and then having a digital release. Panned by critics, that only took in a worldwide profit of $163 million, with $73 million being domestic. Upon digital release, it has reached cult-like status with the amount of memes used on Twitter with Morb and various other memes, as well as demands for a sequel. Jared Leto had this to say. I mean, it's kind of like chicken and the egg there, you know? The physical informs the mental, and the mental informs the physical, and this was just a perfect opportunity for me to not only to, you know, I got a chance to bring this character to the big screen for the first time. Leto recently told comicbook.com, and I have to say it's an absolute honor to do that. And then the movie crashed and burned again, only taking $85,000 on its release before being removed. Dan says, Athena, formerly Ember Moon in WWE, is now part of AEW. Awesome.
Yeah, alright. He did not lose a step.
Nope. I don't really have anything else to say with regards to Morbin Time Take 2 crashing and burning worse than an All Saints sequel. Sir Stephen, 2 cents?
I think this gif I'm going to send in the chat just explains my feelings towards this.
Tony Stark from the Avengers, exasperated. Yep, that's... And Raiden's like, bruh.
I mean, honestly, why do they keep trying to push the Sonyverse in this way? I mean, it's like they're trying to take this movie and just shove it down our throats. I've seen it once. I don't need to see it again. I mean, because I'm working in a cinema now, I've seen how well, quote unquote, well it performed. It only got single-figure screens before it was literally gone within 2 weeks. That's how bad it was.
Because RVRR believes that we want to see a Sinister Six cinematic universe when what we want is more Andrew Garfield Spider-Man and Spider-Man 4, damn it!
Yes.
And Raiden would like his own monument where everybody can look upon and go, my master, I yield to your wisdom. Good, good, good. Very good.
And more Spider-Verse stuff.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry, Steve.
Was anybody surprised to see this crash and burn again?
Not really.
That's all I've got to say. Anyone else?
Madam President.
I'm sorry, but when I found out they were re-releasing this, I'm like, is this a fucking joke? Are we really doing this? And then I'm like, the inner chaos gremlin in me, I'm like, do it. Watch it fail. And it did, and it failed so fucking... I didn't know it was gonna fail this hard. But there we go. It didn't even make $100,000. That's how sad this is. It's sad, but it's hilarious. I'm sorry, that's my inner chaos gremlin. It's like saying, yeah, just let this happen. Let them fall on their own ass. Again, my inner chaos gremlin has been going off lately, especially after what happened with a certain court case. That was me being happy. It's been a good week for my chaos gremlin, but other than that, why did they think this was a good idea? I get it, because just because a movie is getting attention because of a meme isn't an excuse to re-release it. Sony, you're just wasting fucking money. Stop it. But it's just, that was my logical thinking. My inner gremlin was saying, go ahead, do it, see what happens. And it failed. So, that's on you, Sony. That's on
wah, wah.
Agreed.
Cyber Raiden.
Well, again, I got nothing to say. I'm like, bro, I be seeing this shit on Twitter, like, why y'all doing this? Why y'all supporting mediocrity? Like, I see that shit every day when it comes to the Fed, and I'm like, yeah, this shit ain't too different. So whatever, you got it. It failed again. Y'all deserve all the plan y'all get for just supporting stuff like this. So ain't got nothing to do with me. So whatever.
Okay then.
I think Ruby would say it best when he says, because wow, my facts.
Yep, that'll do it. Okay, up onto anime news next.
Oh.
Oni,
Yeah.
Thunder God's Tale anime announced at Netflix.
Hello.
The series will follow a young heroine named Onari who belongs to be a hero from the lore of old. Her true power will come from this world. Onari has to navigate a landscape of Japanese folk monsters. As she edges closer to her goal, she becomes aware of an entity known as Oni, who can defy the power of the gods. According to Netflix, Daichi Tsutsumi will direct Oni. Good luck. Thunder God's Tale and act as an executive producer, as well as Robert Kondo and Kane Lee. Tsutsumi recently released a special statement about the big project, so you can read the director's message below. The story of a brave girl caught between two worlds divided is at its core not only a very personal story for me, but one that's become personal for everyone, including our absolute dream cast. Every one of their incredible talents from our dream list accepted with such passion and empathy for the story, and collaborating with them has been equally humbling and inspiring. They've been given souls to our characters and unparalleled performances for our animators. So, when was Mr. Rikaku planning to tell us this?
There you go.
So, Oni, when were you going to say that you had your own anime and you could defy the power of great mighty beings?
Well, you see, I got nothing.
Guess that Twitch money isn't hitting as hard.
How high can he go? How high can he go?
It's surprise, guys. He's making an anime.
Oh Lord. About to see the day.
So, Stephen, thoughts?
It sounds interesting. I'm glad to see that Netflix is going into other sorts of mythology in terms of the anime that they're putting out. I mean, last year I ended up watching, I'm not sure if any of you have heard of this, Treze, based on the Filipino line of comic books.
All right.
Set in the... basically, it's like, what if Buffy the Vampire Slayer meet kind of X-Files?
Oh.
It's
I think
intriguing.
I've heard of that.
Set within the lore of Philippine folklore and myths and legends.
Sounds neat.
I'd recommend checking it out. Plus, it stars Steve Blum, Somali Montano, and Tanya Gennady.
All right.
Guest roles.
Okay.
But I think this is one I'm going to be definitely just to see. Maybe because I'm getting into a lot of mythological things at the moment, and it looks like it could be an interesting watch.
You imagine it's like, hey, what are you guys doing? Like, oh, I'm gonna be watching Oni.
Steve, don't do that. That's weird. No, there's an anime named after you. Wait, what?
That's something I'm gonna have to tell him when he wakes up from his nap.
Yes.
Hey, honey, we're watching you tonight.
What?
Hey, right?
Oh, there's a Netflix series named after you.
Oh, no.
I want my royalties.
It's like, MJ already knows about it.
Oh, he's the one who told us. Gosh dang it!
Let me guess. Raiden's rubbing his hands together.
Oh, he was doing that long before I told you.
Yes, 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 yes.
Alright, speaking of Raiden, your thoughts?
I can't lie to you. I find it really funny that Netflix is going on with stuff like that because I've heard they were canceling cartoon projects left and right. I'm like, I don't know if I can get into this stuff if I don't expect another season. But with this, I'm slightly interested. You know, I like a little bit of Japanese mythology. Basically got into Norse mythology a couple years back thanks to God of War, and before that, Saint Seiya when they went to Asgard. So I'm interested. But Netflix is kind of winning me back with these more animated projects that I'm interested in. I mean, that's how I got into Tengen to Shura, and I'm so happy that it's getting another season. Thank you, Lord. I've been waiting for years. So yeah, I'm interested. Can't wait to see it. Only making an anime. Oh, hell is freezing over. So there you go.
Yeah, series not getting cancelled or renewed. Now you know how I feel about Vampire in the Garden. I want season 2, damn it! And
Maybe we should get more views.
Last but never least, Madam President.
I mean, it sounds interesting. Like everybody else, I'm very interested in like any kind of like mythic kind of things, like Japanese folklore or any kind of folklore in general. It's like it gives me aspirations to write something. So it's like good on it, and I do kind of enjoy that kind of stuff. Also, this is gonna give me all kinds of laughs when I have to show Oni this. It's gonna be funny.
Yep. You have to film his reaction.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he'd want to be filmed, and he'd be like, "What the fuck is this? It's an anime with your name on it."
What?
No.
And we're not accepting anime unless I'm playing J. Jonah Jameson.
Honey, you already are J. Jonah Jameson.
Meta.
Then I win.
Alright, on to the next one. This is one where I'm not sure how Raiden will feel. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. The boys are back on Paramount Plus.
Oh God!
Now to read my notes. The Slackers from the 90s are back in a Paramount Plus original movie. This is the first major feature featuring the duo since their short-lived revival series in 2011 with, I'm going to be honest and just say it like it is, Mike Judge's Beavis voice has not aged well. Butthead, perfect.
It hasn't, and honestly, the show itself wasn't too bad. It's just a shame the demographic didn't really give a shit.
Mike Judge had planned to bring them back in 2014, but MTV wasn't interested. Of course they're not. They'd rather have reality shows instead of on a channel that's called Music Television. This is their first movie since 97's Beavis and Butthead Do America. This is supposed to be geared to the Gen Z demographic and will have the duo traveling space and time where they end up in 2022. I foresee this ending badly already. The movie will stream on Paramount Plus June 23, which will join the back catalogue of the original series. I saw the trailer. First of all, Judge is writing, directing, and reprising his iconic role, so good on him. It's probably just as well it's going to Paramount Plus, because given how this generation is, and I'm saying this objectively because, oh, that's offensive, this is offensive, it's like, really, you shouldn't have seen the first couple of seasons of the show then, have fun with that.
Yeah.
or watch Halo, or watch the Halo series.
Yeah. So,
no.
So,
Bruh, it's off topic. It took 2 episodes, and from what I've heard from people, I ain't touching that shit no more.
all I'm gonna say is, if it comes to my satellite provider option, I'll give it a look, because it's only a couple of bucks to watch. So, yeah. Steven, thoughts?
Not really sure what to say. I've only seen Beavis and Butthead before on a few occasions, and I think there may have been a mix of some of the 2011 episodes. Might check it out, but most likely probably won't. Good to see that they're back, but just not my thing, you know?
Okay. And we go to Madam President.
I'm gonna be honest, when I first saw it, like, it didn't come to my attention until, like, I was in the room with Oni, and all of a sudden, like, Honey, I'm like, what? And it's like, looky, and he's pointing at my screen, I'm like, wait, I'm like, what? I'm looking at it, I'm like, this can't be real. And then, like, just hearing their voices, I'm like, okay, this is happening, alright, we're doing this now. Oh, that's okay, I'm intrigued. I'm not sure if it comes too little or too late, but yeah, I'm okay with this. It seems like it's like anything for them to sell Paramount Network, and it worked because a certain someone said we're saving money, we're getting this. Because I'm like, okay. All in all, I'm intrigued by it. We'll see what happens, but like, holy crap!
Oh. We did a sequel. We did.
We did a sequel.
Next year, we get a Pamela Anderson thing. Like with what? Just Pamela. Oh yeah.
Oh God, no!
And to the Cyber Raiden.
Oh man, I remember I first saw it, I was like, oh god. I knew for a fact they would come back, but I didn't think it would be that soon. But honestly, I'm happy. I've been a fan of them for years at this point. Didn't really watch it during their peak, but definitely watched it later on. And you know, when you're young, you see like stupid stuff like that. Their commentary on music videos, and then when they came back in 2011, I was happy. In a sense, they got a little bit smarter-ish, but they're still the same, which I did like.
Yeah.
Watching Jersey Shore, watching other music videos and all that, so it was cool. It was cool. Damn shame they didn't come back because the demographic was changed for the worse, in my honest opinion. But it is what it is. So. Them being on Paramount Plus is perfect. I mean, South Park already has like two to three specials out now, so I think this is perfect for them to come back. Same goes for old school cartoons. Like me as a millennial, I like stuff like that because you know when you put them back on TV, the demographics change. People don't really care about that. So you have stuff like Beavis and Butthead, like South Park, which still is on common sense to this day, still getting laughs. You know, it makes sense, and they make tons of money, especially in streaming sales. So this one, I can't wait for. I know the crash jokes. I know the other stuff that will fly over people's heads, but for people like me who grew up with it, they'll absolutely positively love it. Because now they could have did the same for Celebrity Deathmatch with the original creator. swear to God, this is it. I don't know, but for this is a good medium. Can't wait.
Alrighty then. Huh. Hey, hear that, Beavis? Huh. He likes that we got a seagull. Yeah. Hopefully we make some more money. Yeah, we need to get some more nachos. Nachos. It's funny. I remember back in the day when they would do this thing just before Christmas. They would call it a sixth form review, where all the different members of the sixth form at high school would put on like these little sketches, and imagine like this will fly over the American audience's head, but this was back in the day when Eamon Holmes and Anthea Turner used to present the National Lottery draw, and they'd have like, you know, two sixth formers, you know, posing as them. So, here, we're having the National Lottery live from Beavis and Butthead's. Yeah, get out of here. Wait, we're doing, hosting the lottery now. Yeah, get out of here before we call the cops. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's something that stuck for a while, and the guy who was playing Beavis said he'd won the lottery. It's like, I'm gonna go get nachos. And you actually see him run past us in the audience, going out the hall, and you know, supposedly going off to get like boxes of nachos. And it's like, okay, this is happening. Those that attended that particular year, you know what I'm talking about. And boy, do I have a surprise. Oh, okay, I'm not I'm posting. Oh, right. Yeah, I definitely am posting what I'm supposed to be posting. Now, I didn't write notes for this because this was such a lengthy article, and I'm going to try and speed read through this as best possible. Could Chippendale Rescue Rangers' success signal Who Framed Roger Rabbit 2? Please.
What?
Not since Who Framed Roger Rabbit has animation and live action been married so well as with Chippendale Rescue Rangers. The film even shares the same universe as Who Framed Roger Rabbit, taking in modern times while Roger's story was in the 40s. There are a number of parallels between the two films, which is no coincidence. The filmmakers have cited Roger Rabbit as its main inspiration. But of course. While still talk of a sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit has been rumoured for a long time, very long time, the new Chippendale movie may have just paved the way for it. Finding the right balance between cartoon characters and real-life performance is tricky. Robert Zemeckis' approach to the beloved 88 genre bender was a brilliant blend of film noir and Looney Tune 2D animation that was given a rare opportunity to mix both Disney and Warner Brother characters. Based on the much darker 1982 novel by Gary K. Wolfe, Who Censored Roger Rabbit, the movie took the blueprint of the novel and constructed a carefully balanced tone that walks a line between fantasy-inspired family film and many horrors of mankind's domain, in which case stay away from Twitter. The rules of the world are also fascinating. Hey, I tell it like it is, and I don't make no apologies. And with Chippendale bringing 3D animation to the table as a kind of cosmetic surgery, Roger Rabbit's 2 potential just became increasingly more dynamic and likely. Chippendale Rescue Rangers features a brief cameo of Roger Rabbit, awesome, at the beginning of the film. While intended as a hat tip to the animation live-action hybrid Forbearer, it can easily be interpreted that we are in the same universe. While an IMDb page does exist for Who Framed Roger Rabbit 2, there is no further information available. Some years ago, there was an effort to reintroduce Roger Rabbit in a series of shorts featuring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck called The Stooge, but the concept never took flight. Perhaps now is a time to reconsider how Roger Rabbit can potentially get reintroduced, considering the success of Disney Plus as a platform and how well received the new Chippendale film was. Let us speculate on what a sequel to Roger Rabbit might look like, and affirm why now is an excellent time for it. One of the darker elements removed from the novel was a blatant commentary on racism in America in the 40s and 50s. Toons are not recognized as equal citizens that are made to drink from their own labeled water fountains, use separate bathrooms. Jeez, I didn't realize it went that far with it. Damn!
Shit.
Wow.
While removing this element makes sense for the original film's tone, it could be worth revisiting for the sequel. You could also make that similar argument of, you know, when the different planets and galaxies were coming together in Star Trek, would there have been oppression and hatred then? You know, in the same way how mutants are viewed in the X-Men story.
Mm-hmm.
The issue of racism in America has taken on many new forms. The word has been weaponized and its definition has become less specific. Roger Rabbit 2 could potentially make a metaphor for many contemporary issues around identity politics and racism. Please, not identity politics. Please, for the love of the good Lord above, not identity politics. Here, enough of that. Humans that identify as toons and vice versa could bring a lot of relevancy to modern sensibilities. The novel also went much further with the sexual undertones of Jessica. How much further could they go? She was already sexualized. Including a whole seedy adult film shut. Oh, God, Lord. No. In that case, stay away from DeviantArt. Just
No.
Oh.
Shall we move on from that?
Yes.
Please.
This would probably never be appropriate for Disney Plus. Oh, gee, you think? But,
Oh shit.
But may have served as the inspiration for the cult film Cool World.
No.
I mean, I like the premise of Cool World for what it was trying to do with half animation, half live action. But from what I read, that story's fucked up.
It is.
It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be even more messy.
Yeah, they mentioned that in the article. Directed by Ralph Bashki.
Yup, that dude.
That Paramount Pictures put out a few years after the release of Roger Rabbit. The PG-13 movie deals almost exclusively with the ramifications of human and toon mating. Well...
The original draft was supposed to go more into that, but that kind of got lost in amongst a whole lot of other studio internal stuff. From what I understand, anyway.
Well, I don't really know how to cover that one because it depends with, you know, what you regards to toons. I mean, you know, is it looking at human anime characters? Is it looking at She-Hulk, in which Raider will pull up a gun? You say anything about me and her not being a thing, I will end you.
Well, multiverse is out there.
Raider's like, yeah, I'm gonna need 2 weeks. Whereas Lid sees Jessica Rabbit and she's like, Oni, can you excuse me for 3 days? Way. Jessica Rabbit?
No reason.
Only if I get Mickey James. Done. Eddie Murphy could potentially get another shot at a starring role in a sequel to Roger Rabbit. Okay, this is interesting. He was initially approached for the role of Eddie Valiant, but regrettably turned it down. Should the sequel take place in the modern era, the writers could easily tap into the freeway ambitions that motivated Judge Doom. His goal was to develop a highway that would have plowed through Toontown, which is essentially Hollywood, and develop the surrounding area to serve greedy corporations. Sounds like modern day. The film takes inspiration from the history of LA. From the early 1890s, the Pacific Electric Railroad connected the townships of Glendale, Santa Monica, Long Beach, and Pasadena to downtown Los Angeles. Roger Rabbit 2 could explore the impact of transportation and other technology on Toontown. What impacted the internet leave on Toontown? Just don't look up Rule 34. That's all I'm gonna say. Just no. It's like that one image of Wreck-It Ralph on DeviantArt. He comes out from a DeviantArt building and Vanellope's like, Ralph, are you okay? And he's just like, I've seen shit. Perhaps after their birth, Toons become less social with one another. Is there less empathy in Toontown as a result? Has there been an increase in violence since the internet gave birth to social media? Flip a coin with that one. It's anyone's game. Or other echo chamber forums where Toons gather. Oh no, Toon Twitter.
Please. Oh no.
So Toon Twitter, Toon Book, Toon Tube.
Oh no.
Here's what I would want with a second Roger Rabbit movie, have it where not much time has passed since the original. You're going to have to explain Eddie, because Bob Hoskins is sadly no longer with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to see it, say, mid-50s, because the movie was set in, I think it was 47, so have it set in 53, 54, and just see where society and entertainment is at that point, because I feel like when you do some sequels, you need it at a place and time where you feel like there's not such a huge time jump. I mean, look at the time jump between Tron and Tron Legacy. There's a near 30-year absence between the movies. Ghostbusters 3, we let it slide because that thing was in developmental hell for so long that we were just beyond grateful that we actually got a third movie. So, because the original was a period piece set in the 40s, I say with the sequel, set it in the 50s, and Disney, do us all a favor, make it era authentic. Do not inject modern politics into it, because that's not being accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely get the original voice actor to come back for Roger. Kathleen Turner as Jessica, you're gonna have to get someone else, because I'm being nice and I'm being generous by saying this. Her voice has not aged well. Could you hear her as Jessica in the movie? On point, sultry, deep, soulful voice. Nowadays, I don't know. Her voice is too deep, because Jessica had this very soulful, enticing, and very moving way of speaking. When she starts to sound like this, it's like, ugh!
Oh, God, no.
So, although, if the singer that sang Why Don't You Do Right is still about, do bring her back. Because that song, I mean, even as a pre-double digit, when I heard that originally, I'm like, this is moving me in so many ways. I do not understand why I cannot comprehend this. Because when you're like, say, 7 to 10, you're moved by the song because it's just such a powerful one. Whereas you watch it when you're like mid-teens to early teens, and I'm like, should I be smiling like this for this particular reason? It's like, dude, no one talks about it. Don't worry, have fun. Okay. They'd have to get a reasonably good sound-alike actress for how Kathleen was back when they filmed and voice recorded back in '86. Because what people need to remember is they spent 2 years animating all of the cartoon characters in there, and it took, I think, something like the equivalency of maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 million frames of animation just to put in, because they had to take every single frame of film and animate the characters onto there. That's how painstaking it was. But it was something that set the standard for half live action, half animation. So, I don't know. I know that Zemeckis has had stories upon stories upon stories that he's wanted to tell, but Disney keeps saying, "No, we don't want it." And it's like, but you could actually bring in, you could actually bring in an audience and money, and not piss off so many fan bases. Just saying. Steve, do you think a Roger Rabbit 2 could work? And if so, how would you like to see it handled?
I honestly don't know at this point. It just feels as though you're trying to. It feels to me as if they'd be reaching if they wanted to do another Roger Rabbit movie. It's just when it was made, it was a breakthrough in terms of what it did in terms of techniques, but considering all the other technical leaps and bounds that have come along since then, they'd have to find a new way to get people to see it. It's just how do you top something like that in terms of the original? It's just an enigma to me to figure out how they would be able to work.
I feel ya. All right. Raiden, same question.
What was the question?
Do you think a Roger Rabbit 2 could work today, and how would you like to see it handled in terms of story, direction, casting, what have you?
Oh, probably do it just like what they did with Chesterfield Rescue Rangers. I mean, I do like the plot on how Sweet Pete was getting all the original tunes and making them the bootleg sequels. I mean, I don't know. It felt funny to me. So I don't know. I'm at an impasse. I remember I watched the Roger Rabbit movie, and for the plot, it worked for its time. So I think you need to come up with something. For me, like I said, do it with Rescue Rangers, but I would switch it around. Like, cartoons nowadays are getting dark nowadays. Talk about real life stuff. They want to keep that in the same place while the old zany stuff is old news. So I don't know. I would use it like that, but make it a little bit more fun, just like the original one. I don't know. That's something I would do. A sequel, I guess we're gonna have to find that out. But that's what I would do so far.
And to someone who has a soft spot for Jessica Rabbit, Madam President, same questions to you.
I mean, I'm of two minds about that, because the Chippendales Rescue Rangers movie surprised me. I thought it was going to be a complete dumpster fire and just going to be jokes about modern shit and just like, it was going to be terrible, but it surprised me that it was decent at least. But I don't know if bringing back Roger Rabbit and doing another sequel ahead of that it's been so long. I mean, people will remember, obviously, but I don't know. It feels like we're living in a world of nostalgia, and don't get me wrong, I don't mind nostalgia, but when you overdo it, you get these sequels that came out movies came out 30, 40 years ago. You're getting them regurgitated, coming back out again. Sometimes you get good, which is again few and far between, and other times you get complete shit. And I'm not sure if I want that for Roger Rabbit. I mean, if they do it, cool. You'd have to find the proper voice actors to voice the characters. I mean, like you said, Jessica Rabbit, you're going to have to find somebody that has the same cadence as Kathleen Turner gave it, because, Kathleen Turner doesn't have the vocal range to do it anymore.
No. And it's sad. It's sad, though.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's sad, though, because she gave such a beautiful delivery as Jessica.
She did! But for the love of all that's holy, please do not hire Tara Strong to be the voice of Jessica Rabbit, because I will strangle you with my hands. With my bare fucking hands. Don't do that. Again, I don't mind Tara Strong. Just, no. Just hire a voice actress that's actually good, and don't get some freaking known celebrity to voice Jessica Rabbit, because I will hurt you. In the worst kind of ways, I will hurt you.
ideally, you could get Kari Walgreen.
Good, yeah, she's perfect.
Plus, she voiced probably one of my favorite versions of Saya in Blood Plus, because she actually made Saya feel human, even though she's a vampire. You know, she gave the character a lot of personality and quirks to her, and I'm like, oh, you're adorable, because that's what you want.
Personally, I would nominate Christina V.
That would work too.
Yeah.
She did voice the theme song. She did voice the theme song. I mean, she voiced Shantae and did the theme song at the same time, so that I think would be perfect.
Now that you say that, I remember Wynn saying that Christina V has a very similar cadence to Larissa Gallagher, who voiced Fine, and I'm like, I can see that working. There's a very similar playful and sassiness in the voice, so that could work. Alrighty, we're still on the subject of Rescue Rangers.
Oh boy.
You're not gonna believe who was originally supposed to be in Ugly Sonic's place.
What?
Oh boy.
Another controversial character. JarJar Binks.
Oh my
what?
god.
What?
Ugly Sonic at the Expo spot was not the original choice for the movie. Artist Simeon Wilkins originally revealed that it was going to be Jar Jar. Furthermore, it is said that this movie exists because of the existence of Disney+. The movie had been written 7 years ago, but because of the advent of streaming sites where movies that could not have been made before now have an audience to be seen and appreciated by said audience. How to be as blunt as I can possibly be. Oh, there's a couple of bits and pieces from Dan. As mediocre as the Chippendale movie was, it was still a better movie than Ralph Breaks the Internet. Fun fact, the Punisher and Sabretooth from the 92 and X-Men cartoon were actually considered for the Marvel cameo of the film until they decided to choose Tiger from Avengers United They Stand. If they did another Roger Rabbit movie was made, would there be kind of anime cameos from any generation? Why not? Speaking of Roger, remember that shave and a haircut trick Judge Doom used to catch Roger? Do you think that trick will work well on animated characters or just the old-fashioned tunes? I would imagine it would apply to all tunes because, well, it's kind of woven into their DNA. You know?
It's a classic. It's a bit of classic comedy.
Yes. So the fact that it was meant, and there's even actual animatic from Instagram from Roboto Parator. Okay. The fact that Jar Jar was even being considered, oh, sweet Lord above, it wouldn't have turned the movie into a dumpster fire, but there would have been so many JonTron memes posted about this movie going, I have several questions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would make a Jar Jar quote, but some of the quotes Jar Jar made, they are so questionable even by 1999 standards, let alone 2022.
Oh, jeez.
I got nothing. Steven, go ahead.
Yeah, I got nothing for this. Considering how much I've heard of how different the original movie was going to be, I just don't know.
All right. Madam President?
Again, this was something where I'm of two minds about because... What? That just completely blew my mind. Like, what the fuck? I'm definitely picturing Jar Jar reading the lines from the movie. I'm like, oh god, my head hurts. My head fucking hurts. But again, it could have worked considering the fact that Jar Jar is just as low as Ugly Sonic, but just okay. That would have definitely broken the internet at least a little bit. Not as much as Ugly Sonic, but yikes. Just I got nothing.
Raiden?
Here's the thing about the movie. It was damn. I'm sorry, I'm blanking out. What was the question again?
What do you make of the fact that it would have been Jar Jar in the movie originally instead of Ugly Sonic?
Oh my god, I don't know. That would be a whole ass can of worms, especially since you already have all the Star Wars movies on Disney Plus. So I don't know. I think Ugly Sonic worked more than Jar Jar Binks because of the fact that so far the franchise Sonic is more successful. So the fact that they added that, okay, that was a fun surprise, and it wasn't just a one-time thing. It was pretty good, and it turned out actually good for Ugly Sonic in a sense. Jar Jar Binks, I don't know how that was gonna work out. You know, anytime that character gets brought up, you just bring up. A lot of people say the mediocre sequels. Listen, I'll take those sequels over what Disney gave us. Force Awakens to Rise of Jedi, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think that would have worked. My honest opinion.
No, probably not. Okay. Next up, we're on the subject of belated sequels. However, there is a reason with this one. Top Gun Maverick becomes Tom Cruise's highest domestic grossing. Taking in just under $300 million in its first week, the movie has outdone 2005's War of the Worlds, which took in $234 million in its first week. And by the way, 2005, I'm still waiting for an apology for that. Why did you make me sit through that movie? The movie is
because Wobba Fett?
Yeah, that too. The movie is being regarded as being one of the best legacy sequels in building on what the original did and improving upon it when you consider that the original was released in the summer of '86 and Cruise aging very well since that movie that launched him into the stratosphere. Furthermore, the movie has earned $390 million worldwide. Cruise has said that he didn't want to make the sequel until they had the right story and technology caught up, and for the sounds of things, it did just that. Will there be a Top Gun 3? Who knows? But it's always fun to get back on the highway to the danger zone. So, Stephen, thoughts on it being his highest domestic grossing ever, and do you agree that the movie has improved upon the original in many ways?
I'm not. To be frank, I'm not surprised that it's brought in that much, considering how busy me and my fellow co-workers at our local cinema have been working day in and day out, especially for Top Gun. It just proves that it's a very much an icon of cinema with the original, and now with this new film, it's just brought on more in terms of what. As I said before, it's more psychological, still coming to terms of what happened during the first movie, and it's just Maverick just trying to help the next generation.
I did see, because somebody uploaded the opening. I'm glad that Maverick stayed faithful to the original with the original opening theme for Top Gun, and I'm like, yes!
I have to admit, when I keep doing screen announcements and I just hearing that music, it just gives you goosebumps, you know. And
doesn't matter how many times I've seen the original, the moment Kenny Loggins' song hits in, it's like, oh yeah, it's time to feel the beat, because it's as Raiden said, Highway to the Danger Zone, it's a banger. It's something about that song, you can't put it into words. It's just like, yep. Alright. Madam President, your thoughts?
Again, as a person who was like anticipating this being another cash grab and it wasn't gonna have any thought put into it, as much as I have my personal feelings towards Tom Cruise, when he makes the movie, he does it right, and I appreciate that. I respect that. And also the War of the Worlds, that was not his fault. That was Steven Spielberg I blame for that movie.
Oh yeah.
Because remember, because Spielberg, I would like my money back.
Apparently he's...
Again, I've heard the radio play. That movie does not compare to that one, and that one was made in the 40s. So, no.
Apparently he was planning to release that originally in 2001, and then 9/11 happened. Bad. Well, to be fair, it's not bad timing on his part, because he was planning to release it around that time, but no one saw 9/11 happening.
Oh, they didn't. You're right. But again, all in all, I'm glad that it's doing well, and again, that some actual forethought was put into this film, that they actually gave a damn, and I actually appreciate that, and I'm glad it's doing well in theaters. Am I gonna go see it? I might wait until it comes out on Blu-ray. So I'm sorry. Not because I don't like the movie. It's just I'm gonna wait until it comes out on Blu-ray, like a lot of things. So.
Well, the only way you would guarantee you in a theater is like, what's on the picture? The long-awaited motion picture of She-Hulk. Honey, drop what you're doing. We're going to the theater now. Bit and streaming. You will do as you're told. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
And there's only like go, help me, and I'm like, shall we, guys? All thumbs down. No, I hate you all. We know. Don't worry, honey. I'll get you 3 Dominoes.
Fine.
With extra sausage topping. Even extra large Dr. Pepper. Okay, fine. I'll go. That's a way to a man's heart, through his stomach.
Indeed.
And Lieutenant Commander Cyber Raiden, your thoughts on it doing very well for Cruise's best domestic opening?
I mean, it was. I don't think there was any doubt. Like, the way I've heard of a Top Gun, it's one of the most well-written films ever. So with this one, I would not be surprised with this one. And it was cool that the next generation could experience that cast and the people who watched it as kids, now they have kids of their own. So, yeah, like I said, not into the Top Gun series, but with this, I'm happy people are enjoying it, and I think that's all that matters. And good on Tom Cruise. He earned it, especially being in other bombs that we don't talk about.
The one I felt like could have probably been better explored if they just ironed out a few flaws. Minority Report would have been something that could have well stood the test of time, because it was such a brilliant concept.
Yeah, I like that. I kind of like that movie.
As for the Mummy reboot, we don't talk about that. No.
Icky.
Yuck.
But no, I mean, he has said very candidly in interviews he wouldn't do a second Top Gun until the right story was found and technology had caught up to the point where we could do these things for real. I wonder if he's still going to be inverted and extend communications to foreign relations. I like that there's actually a t-shirt of that where you can actually sort of see a little silhouette of Maverick flipping the bird at the enemy, and I'm like, oh, you sassy bitch. But no, with belated sequels, I kind of take a page from Liz's perspective. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. There are those that do it just for the cash grab, but then there are some that don't want to put a movie out just for the sake of. They want to tell a story where you think, yes, this was worth waiting for. This was something that was worth my time, my money, and my attention. It'd be like if, let's say after all these years, they make a long-awaited god tier level animation Fist of the North Star movie, and Raiden's like, hello, like,
yeah,
Ken Shira returns. Like, if it's something where the writer and the director have got a story whereby the writer and the studio gets what they want, but at the same time the fans are rewarded for their patience, then not a problem. I mean, a couple that come to mind, Ghostbusters 3, as we've mentioned so many times before, that was such a well done love letter to the fans in the same context as the video game was 13 years ago. It sounds by a lot of things that Maverick is honoring the original, but not completely being like over-reliant on nostalgia. It's actually trying to push the story forward. And as a trivial side note, there's part of me that wants to see a live-action Thunderbirds movie done again, however, done to the style of Top Gun. That
Funny enough, I was thinking about Thunderbirds when I was doing some of the drinks deliveries into the screen.
Nice.
Like, what? It was like, why have I suddenly got Thunderbirds in my head now?
Because I'd love... There's probably somebody out there who's listening to this, and whoever is making an AMV or a puppet music video, you can have this free of charge. Just make sure you credit original initial idea by MJ Knight, thank you very much. Have it where you see the Thunderbirds launching, but then you hear Kenny Loggins' Highway to the Danger Zone kick in. It's just like, yes, because I think that would suit Thunderbirds well. It doesn't necessarily have to have the humor of Top Gun, but have that same sort of style and cadence whereby the Top Gun fans can get it, but because Thunderbirds is more family orientated, it's one of those things where it meets each other in the middle, where it's not being too family friendly and it's not being out the edge for no reason. It's like when they do most comic book movies these days. You want it whereby the kids get what they want out of it, but at the same time the adults can look at it and their inner child is like, this is what I should have had 30 years ago. This pleases me. This is very good. This is very good. Hey, Prez.
Hello.
So,
Hi.
as for a Top Gun 3, I think they need to wait for the right story to come along. The only caveat is, let's not wait another 36 years, because Tom Cruise is 60 this year. If we're going to wait another near 4 decades, Tom's going to be in his 90s before we see that happen. So I think this time, if they're going to do a third, no more than 5 years. No more than 5 years. And maybe like this is where Maverick retires. I don't know. But let's not leave it so long next time, because I don't mind it, if you wait specifically, say, 10 or 12 years just till you've got the right story. Because again, we mentioned Ghostbusters 3 went through developmental hell for 30 years, to where one of the stories would have been revolving around New Year's Eve 99, and to one that revolved around December 21st, 2009. So I don't know. I'm hoping, like I say, we get another sequel, but not so long this time, because the actors and us are not getting any younger. Just saying. And we come to... this is one I haven't written notes for, because this is such a lengthy article that there's only so much I'm able to break down. So I'm going to read this one verbatim. Top Gun Maverick, Val Kilmer gave a voice using artificial intelligence. Kilmer's return as Iceman in Maverick was not an easy task thanks to the actor's recent cancer battle. By the way, buddy, we're glad you're still with us. Keep rocking on. But technology helped a great deal. Maverick is one of the biggest movies to have been delayed because of the COVID pandemic. However, originally being ready to release in 2020, just as the pandemic began to make its presence felt. However, the movie's arrival in cinemas over Memorial Weekend seemed to have been well worth the wait, giving Tom Cruise the biggest opening weekend by some stretch. Along with Cruise, the only returning star of the original is Val Kilmer as Tom Iceman Kazansky, and his return was only made possible thanks to the use of some impressive technology. It was known for some time that Kilmer would reprise his role in the Top Gun sequel for some time, but it was not known for exactly his appearance would play out due to the actor losing his voice from undergoing throat cancer treatment in 2014. As it turns out, his real-life battle has been translated into his character. As in the movie, Iceman has been caught in a battle with cancer and communicates through typing. However, in a mirror of his real-life situation, Kilmer has one line of dialogue that was created with the use of AI. In August 2021, Kilmer was able to find a speaking voice in real life thanks to his partnership with Sonantic, who compiled hours of voice archives of the actor and used advanced algorithms to allow him to electronically speak again. As revealed by Forbes, the same process was used to let his character speak in Top Gun Maverick. John Flynn, co-founder of Sonantic, explained, "In the end, we generated more than 40 different voice models and selected the best, highest quality, most impressive one. Those new algorithms are now embedded into our voice engine, so future clients can automatically take advantage of them as well." As well as his appearance in Maverick, Kilmer is also a big part of Willow, the Disney Plus sequel series to the 1980s fantasy, even though his character of Mad Martigan will not appear in the show. In the original movie, Mad Martigan helps Willow, played by Warwick Davies, in his quest that pits him against evil forces. Although Kilmer will not be appearing in the series, his character's daughter will appear, and it's been said that his character will be a presence in the show. Following the trailer for the reveal show during Disney's Star Wars celebration, Willow executive producer Jonathan Kasdan explained, "He's a huge part of this story and series. Val has been in communication with Joanne Wally, his ex-wife, and I and Mad Martigan is a character in the story that we didn't get to shoot him with Season 1. We've made him a major figure in the story. While it is possible that if Willow gets a second season, Kilmer could be involved in some way, for now it will be enough for fans to see his legacy in the franchise be carried on, even if he is not present on screen himself." Well, this is also kind of saying, for future movies, this is a way, let's just say, for the sake of discussion, a voice actor for Bugs Bunny, Mickey Mouse, or even, for Darth Vader, because as sad as we don't want to admit this, there is going to come a point where some of these actors pass on. That's just life. If AI is advancing to the point whereby they're able to replicate their voices and have it as a smooth cadence, to where you can have their voice as they were at that time, it's going to have more situations like we had with, say, Tron Legacy, when Carrie Fisher was brought back as a much younger Princess Leia in Rogue One. You know, you're not going to be able to bring an actor back visually, but also speaking wise. So let's say there's a point, say for the 50th anniversary of the original animated Transformers movie, what if they're able to have AI advance to such a point that they'll be able to replicate Peter Cullen's voice as Prime as he was then? There are many implications and applications that this could move up into. I mean, it could be the same thing if they ever decide to bring Knight Rider back in the future and have it even more technologically advanced, and they're able to have William Daniels' voice replicated to like 99.97% accuracy. Or I don't know, what if Raiden gets his own anime series as, I don't know, let's just say he gets his series as the Slandering Samurai, and then at some stage someone reboots it, but they get the AI to match his voice as he is now. 70-year-old Ray look and go, well, damn. It's like, give me that voice over here. I got some honeys to go, oh, hey, baby, how you doing? Well, as it said in Justice League Unlimited, according to Static Shock, 60's the new 30, so, There's some interesting implications. I do see a possible few pitfalls how this could be abused. I mean, look what could happen if deepfake is mishandled, so I see both sides, but I also see a lot of positives being done from, in terms of entertainment, or if they try to do like a memorial thing, like when they do like Peppered Ghost, like how they had Michael Jackson when they had his hologram performing on screen, and either that was somebody who did motion capture or they programmed a hologram, but you could swear blind that was Michael. Not just from the appearance, but from the moves. You think, okay, that's scary. But yeah, glad Val was able to reprise his role. I'm sad that he's lost his voice, but at the same time, I'm just glad he's still here. Because cancer is not something you take lightly. And not to get too personal, given some of the things that have happened in my life with some family members, I know that all too well. That's all I'll say. Stephen, 2 cents.
Yeah, I actually found that out a few days ago, but it was kind of a thing to take back, because the scene where you do see Iceman and Maverick meet up after all this time, it does hold a lot of emotion. Although, with the fact that they used AI to come up with the voice, it just makes me wonder, when are we going to be getting more into Uncanny Valley stuff? I mean, we've already seen that in terms of what Disney did with Rogue One. Not only in making a young Princess Leia younger towards the end of that movie, but bringing back the likeness of Vincent Price's Tarkin.
I think that was Peter Mayhew, I think. No, that's someone else. Hold on. So I'm trying to think here. I think it was Peter Cushing.
That's Peter Cushing, that's the one.
Cushing, that's what I was blanking on the name.
Yeah,
it's Peter.
Sorry. But doing it to Because it almost just feels as though technology is slowly beginning to beginning to replace actors that have passed away, and in a little way, that's a little bit unsettling. Because who knows what other areas they could apply this technology to. But that's just me rambling on.
I think, I don't know how you feel about this. If it was done in a way, let's say we're doing, a time travel story where you're able to authentically recreate an actor from their past, but the actor in question is still actually here amongst the living. How do you feel about that?
It'd be a bit jarring, but it would be interesting to see, but at the same time it'd be a bit jarring.
I understand the perspective when they're no longer here, but if you're doing a movie that's as a prequel or something that's set in the past of that character, fans like familiarity. I think if the actor is still here, as long as you, I don't know if the studio would necessarily ask for the consent, but if the actor is okay with it, because I've known, because when I'm blanking on names a second. Director of Ghostbusters 3, Ryan. Steve, help me out.
Right then.
Thank you. When he went to write the script, he consulted Harold's family first because he thought it was so important to get their blessing, otherwise this would not work. I think if you have the family's consent and blessing, that's a little bit different, because it's not like a studio would go in and just say, we're just going to do this anyway. Because I think if you're going to have somebody portray a past version, or if they get an actor to go on, but then they deep fake it to make them look younger, like they did with Jeff Bridges for Tron Legacy. Because if you're trying to see a younger version of the actor, it would make sense to not only have their face de-aged, but also have their voice de-aged. Now, voices are probably one of the last few things to ever age about a person. I mean, just listen to Yuri Lowenthal. I mean, that guy's in his 50s, and he's got such a youthful range and delivery, whether it's as Superman and Superman X in Legion of Superheroes, Spider-Man in Spider-Man PS4, and the lead protagonist in Defense of the Ancients, Dragon's Blood. Because
not to mention, sorry.
No, go on, finish.
Not to mention Ben 10, teenager Ben 10 in Alien Force all the way through to Omniverse.
And Preston's just said Mercury in Ruby.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, the voice is the last thing to age, provided they look after their voices. Some actors, however, I mean, just look at Eric Stewart, who played Brock in Pokemon, and Gary Gabriev in Slayers. You hear him in Slayers Revolution. Oh, good lord, his voice is raspy. Random attributes that to make it sound like Brock's been smoking. It's just like, considering he also sings in his own personal rock band, that will make your voice go raspy. I mean, another example, as much as we don't care for the character of Stephanie McMahon, you hear how she is in 1999 and hear her now, it's night and day. There's two completely different tones in her voice. Although, I will say, I will 50-50 take current Stephanie speaking over the whiny and nails on the chalkboard tone that she had around 2000 to 2001. Ugh. Especially Wind Beneath Our Ring. No,
never.
Prez just says, compare 1995 Tom DeLonge to Tom DeLonge today. Who's another one whose voice has aged really well? Let me see. Well, as we mentioned earlier, Kari Walgreen. She looks after her voice amazingly well. Say what we will about Tara Strong. She looks after her voice. Who's another one? Lisa Ortiz. If anything, her voice has gotten lighter with time, because you hear her as Lena Inverse in the first 3 Slayers TV series. Then you hear her as Amy Rose in Sonic X, to where it sounds like she's been inhaling helium. And then, you hear Cynthia Martinez as Lena Inverse from the OVAs to Slayers Premium. She does have a rasp in her voice, but it's a rasp that's like, oh, you're so adorable, you're so cute. Just, don't do one of the following. Do not steal her food, do not take money from her, and do not make comments about her being flat-chested or with no butt. Seriously, she'll dragon slave you. Win will vouch for that.
It's really worth it.
Including one time where she had a curse placed on her where any attack she made on someone, it would be revisited back onto her. Zelos, being the absolute troll that he is, he gets to do a demonstration. He forcibly puts Gary's hand onto one of her breasts and goes, wow, they're small. Yeah, they are, kinda. And then she kicks him in the nuts. She feels it 3 seconds later.
Ooh.
Yeah, this was because Martina used one of her headbands and placed a curse to have, like, pain revisited onto her as if her existence wasn't painful enough. Seriously, Martina's like one of those people ready to be like, I've only met you, and already I don't like you. I'm going to slander you. Whereas Liz just look at her and go, I don't like you. I'm going to do things. Seriously, she's like, she suffers from whiny bitch fit syndrome. Yeah, she's one of them.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. But yeah. And we've completely gone off the point. Liz, what do you make about the idea of Val not only being able to reprise his role as Iceman, but having his voice recreated via AI? And how do you feel about that type of technology developing? Do you see problems, or do you see it being kind of like a of two minds sort of thing?
I'm of two minds about it, because again, I'm glad that they were able to get him back despite the fact that he's going through through that kind of illness. By the way, I hope you get better, Val. Mm-hmm. Loved you as Doc Holliday, so we don't want to lose you that soon.
No.
But again, I do like that he came back, and also they found a way to work around that, which is a good thing, because Iceman was one of the iconic characters in that movie, so you couldn't do the movie without him.
Nope.
But also of two minds of, like, this is going to be an excuse for Hollywood to just not hire actors anymore, because it was like, what's the point of paying an actor when we can just get a CGI rendering? All we have to do is pay him a couple bucks for their likeness, and boom, we're done. That's gonna kill the business, and again, I'm don't mind that technology is advancing, but to a certain point, we have to, like, at least draw the line somewhere. Because eventually, that kind of technology is going to get abused, and we're just, I don't know. Again, I'm of two minds about it. I'm glad that they're using it, But when's the point when they're going to start using it for indiscriminately or using it for ill purposes? I'm just saying, because deep fakes are a thing, so it's like, why not use it with someone's voice? I'm like, yeah, that's an excuse for stealing someone's fucking identity, and that's not a good thing. And it could be marked as identity theft for all we know. But I don't know, it just feels a little icky for me. It feels a little off, but they want to do it. What am I going to do? Say no? Because I have no choice in it.
No. Alright, that's actually very valid input. Raiden? Your call.
Well, I don't know. We're talking about Willow, right?
We're talking about Val Kilmer voice being recreated using AI.
Oh, that's a crazy task. You know, it's I don't know. It was cool that they did. It was cool that he came back, but like to another detriment. It's unfortunate that it had to happen, but sometimes like you gotta switch things up. I like how they did with Ghostbusters Afterlife. You know, with Harold Ramis. You know what I mean?
That ending, man. Ooh. I cried.
So did I.
Let you know when I see it then. So yeah, with this, like I said, you can use technology for great things. Like Liz said, sometimes you can backfire. So I don't know. For my sake, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing, but I know it can be abused in the future.
All right, that's fair. Fair comment. And then of course. Oh, hang on.
Sorry, that was me.
I was gonna say. Well, Kaiju was stepping in then. And then of course, all eyes are looking towards Jurassic Park 6 this week. In precisely 9 days, I find out for myself how this particular saga is going to be drawn to a close. But it's like we've been saying for the last year or so, it's not going to be the end. If it makes money, they will make more. Because that's how Hollywood works. It makes money, you keep making them. When they don't make money anymore, it's like, this one didn't take so much.
Let's reboot it!
I mean, in terms of what happened with Bumblebee, I felt like that was something that was long overdue, because even though The Last Night took a lot of money, it apparently took something like $300 million less than Age of Extinction, which I thought, huh, okay. Whereas with Bumblebee, they actually told a great story with a smaller cast of humans and Transformers alike, and it worked. And the great thing with that is, Travis Knight actually ended up under budget. Because he's an animator,
Wow.
because he's an animator, he knows how to spend his money accordingly. He knows where to use more particular expensive VFX and when not to use them. And also, I still get a kick every time Charlie's up by the cliff face and you hear Stan Bush's, "You've got the touch!" I still say, to this day, if that had played at the start of Sam igniting the Matrix of Leadership into Prime's chest, that would have been amazing. It'd just be like, come on, you know, I'm Michael Bay. I don't like nerds. It's like, and you're pissing us off. Please go away. Now that would have been something. because I think the Bumblebee sequel is supposed to be coming out next year or 2024.
Yeah,
but it's with
2023 is Rise of the Beast.
Now, we've been waiting a long ass time for Beast Wars in any form on live action, so that will be something monumental. And if they do that, you have to get Gary Chalk as Primal. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Sadly, I don't think that's the case. They've got Ron Perlman again.
Ugh.
Boo!
Here's the thing. I love Ron Perlman. He's a great actor. He's always going to be the OG and the ultimate Hellboy. And he does pretty well at most other voiceovers, but he's not Primal. I'm sorry. He's just not. You know, he did well as Clayface in Batman the Animated Series and as Rumors in the Batman, but he's not Primal. That'd be like... Let's think of something where it's like polar opposites that don't work. That'd be like making Kanye West Rhodey.
No! Never!
Or Kim Kardashian as She-Ra.
Oh my lord.
Take that back. You take that back right now.
Okay, I'll go one worse. Make her Sailor Moon.
No! None
What
of
have you
that.
done?
None of that. Shame on you.
See, that's what I mean. You know, a character mixed with, you know, paired with an actor that just don't mix. If you have... Alright, you have pairings that work. Christopher Reeve, Superman. Perfect. Michael Keaton, Batman. Always perfect. Jim Carrey in The Mask. What are you talking about? It's just Jim Carrey playing himself with green latex on his face. Or Raiden, who gets to play Blade.
Yes.
So you get actors that work, and then you get actors who don't work. Perlman as Primal, no, I'm sorry, it don't work. I mean, well, this is kind of more of an obvious one. That'd be like Sir Ian McKellen playing Cheetor.
No.
If it were...
You do not do that.
If it were a distinguished and articulate speaking Cheetor in his autumn of the year, then it would make sense. But Cheetor is always seen as a teen bot character.
He was pretty much the Bumblebee / Hot Rod of Beast Wars.
Yeah. So, I mean, another one, you know, that work. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. It's practically well made. Ben Affleck and Daredevil, we like to pretend that didn't happen, and so does Ben Affleck for that matter. Here's another set that did not work. Oh yeah, Halle Berry and Catwoman. Because all right. I think if the studio had gone with a look that was a little closer to Michelle Pfeiffer's look, where it's still being a little bit more mysterious, but let's call it for what it is. Halle Berry's Catwoman was basically a girl wearing a bondage suit. Let's just call it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey was noticing things in Double Toast is reviewing. Poor Billy. A freaking tough scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. And the way they were commenting on that one guy being so thirsty over Catwoman's love interest, it's like, dude, calm down. Oh good lord. Yeah. Has anyone got anything they want to bring to the table since we got 30 minutes left on the clock.
Not really, no.
I think we're good.
Alrighty. Well, folks, we're ending slightly earlier this evening, but hey, I was asked and advised to speed up my delivery. I like to think I did that. It's something I'm still working on, and it's something I'll work on for Season 18 of Real Features, which I will get to start working on probably more this time next month, because as I've stated in the last few episodes of this show, this season has been very hit and miss like last year's, because whether I was going through mental health problems, this year I've been going through physical and health problems, so it's been a bit of a mixture. I would like to have delivered the full 10 tickets, but hey, when you get your ribs injured and then you get the bug within weeks of each other, it kind of brings a halt to everything you're trying to do. I mean, Titanic will be presented in how I filmed and voiceovered it, so that'll be the only like little piece, cadence and flow wise, that doesn't quite match up with what I will do for this season going forward, but everything else will be intact, and there's going to be a few surprises, one of which Raider will be like, you need to let me download this. I need this. I need to save this. I need to save this for my life. This is everything I've ever needed. And as I've said, Sonic will be the season finale because I put out the poll. That's what everyone voted for. But I'm going to try and do it in such a way whereby I'm not scrambling to get everything done. I'm going to have it whereby by the time we get to, say, mid-September, I'm already working on the last 3 tickets for the season, because I don't want a repeat of the last 2 seasons where I've had, like I say, mental health problems, moving problems, and in the case of this year, injury and sickness. So, it's a learning process going forward, and I'm back with the writing bug, so all is good, and both Kaiju and Random have suggested this commission artist to have a full picture drawn of one of my characters I'm thinking about bringing back. But I've been told I've got to do it by the end of the year because of I'm not going to disclose live on air, but let's just say the artist in question is having IRL problems.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh dear.
I'll say off air, but not on air, because there's some things that don't need to be broadcast and by extension should not be.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Well, folks, we'll see you next week at 6 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Season 10 finale of Sunday Night Live. As to when we'll come back for Season 11, all I'm going to say is likely to be late August, early September time, because we need a break.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yeah. And apart from that, it gives me a chance to catch up with everything, because the style I'm trying to adapt to now with regards to Sunday Night Live is look at what the articles will say, but I will try to summarize it into brief notes that say the same thing, but it's allowing me to be able to say it at a delivery where apparently I'm not, where I'm not apparently reading a bedtime story. I might just do something like bedtime stories with NJ Knight, and that is how the Cyber Raiden conquered the Sonyverse and had Paul Feig fired and reduced to janitor level. And Raiden's like, oh yes, I can sleep well now.
Yes. What about the story I wrote? What about the theory I want?
Awesome Lydia became Sailor Moon and saved the world.
I'm okay with this.
Next up on Netflix, Oni the movie.
Ooh, awesome!
Liz.
No, I know what it is. Son of a bitch!
Oni the movie, starring John Goodman.
What the fuck?
Well, it could have been worse. Oni the movie, starring Trey Parker. Raina's like, okay, I'm watching now.
It's Eric Cartman. Son of a bitch!
Okay, folks. Until then, I'm MJ Knight, saying good night from the night. Be good to each other, be creative, and inspire someone.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, everybody.